As usual, I'm going to make very clear the position of the people of Gibraltar in relation to the decolonisation of Gibraltar and what it is that this committee is responsible for, which is to look at the relationship between the administering power, the United Kingdom, and the people of the non-self-governing territory, and to determine whether we've reached that level of emancipation that we should be removed from the list in keeping with one of the 4 criteria that this committee can look at. And I'll be doing that in the context of looking at the whole year since I was last at the United Nations, which of course you'll recall was before the result of the Brexit referendum was known.
So last year, centre stage was joint sovereignty. This year, obviously, Brexit.
Well, the issue of joint sovereignty was centre stage, was Senor Margallo on his way out of the foreign ministry and with an eye to what might happen in the Brexit referendum was proposing joint sovereignty. I'm quite happy to make sure that if that is once again the position of Spain, the position of the people of Gibraltar in respect to the sovereignty of Gibraltar is going to be very clear. It's going to be understood in a way that cannot be misunderstood. Brexit, of course, will be an important part of my relation to the committee of what's happened in the past year and how we see the future.
How much are you aided by the fact that Joe Bassano comes back and gives you some sort of idea of what the committee is thinking?
Well, of course, Joe Bassano going to the UN seminar in May, something that he has done when he was chief minister, and he did as the leader of the opposition and as a member in opposition under his own steam, paying his own way, is something that is very useful. First of all, because Joe Bassano is now understood by the committee and the people who make it up to be an expert on the issues that the committee looks at, and they look to Joe as an expert on the subject, not just as a representative of the people of Gibraltar on the subject with expertise, but as a freestanding expert on the subject. He also, once there, gets to see what the position of Spain is, and we see the prepared text of the position that Spain puts in May, which is helpful in understanding what it is that we may have to counter in June and in October, and to get a feel for what it is that the committee might be seeking to do in the context of understanding what its remit is, or trying to extend its remit in a way that is unacceptable. For example, when we've seen others who've been chairman of the committee trying to bring into the understanding of the committee's view the idea that a territory with a dispute as to its sovereignty might somehow not be able to avail itself of the inalienable right of self-determination, never mind the fact that the word inalienable has a meaning, and that this issue of disputed sovereignty is not one which enters into the statutes setting up the C24 and the way it can exercise its discretion. So Joe's trip is a very, very useful preparation for June and for October.